Celtic's record signing could be heading out the door this summer with not one but two clubs now circling. We've also got a massive contract story involving one of the most loved players in Celtic's modern era, a former Hoop potentially making a huge move in Saudi Arabia, and Joe Hart with some very clear words about his future. Loads to get into today, let's go. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. James Forrest has made it clear he wants to stay at Celtic, and a conversation he had with Brendan Rodgers before the manager left the club last October has been driving his mindset ever since. The 34-year-old was brilliant off the bench in Sunday's Scottish Cup semi-final win over St Mirren, operating down the right and setting up Kelechi Iheanacho's first goal as Celtic pulled clear in extra time. It was exactly the kind of contribution that reminds everyone what Forrest still brings to this squad, and his timing could not have been better with contract talks ongoing. His current deal expires at the end of the season, and he has been pushing hard to earn another year at the club. Forrest has spoken to Celtic and made his feelings plain. He told the Herald, "Hopefully I can be a part of that and stay another year. I've spoken to the club, I've been here for a long time and I don't want to go anywhere else. It's not a big discussion. I want to stay here. Hopefully we'll get it sorted out. I think at Celtic," and this was something Brendan Rodgers said to me, "when you sign a new deal, you're then working hard to get the next one. I'm going to be 35 in the summer, but I still feel as though I can contribute and help the team." That Rodgers quote tells you everything about the mentality Forrest has carried through his career. Every contract has been an opportunity to push for the next one. He has been doing it for over a decade, and he is still doing it now, with a league title still in reach and a Scottish Cup final now on the horizon following Sunday's win. Forrest is focused entirely on delivering silverware first and letting his performances make the argument for him. Performances like Sunday absolutely do exactly that. Now, for the main story, as Arne Engels is at the centre of a summer transfer battle that is only going to get bigger, with both English and Italian clubs now firmly in the picture for the 22-year-old Belgian midfielder. Celtic stood firm in January, turning down 3 bids from Nottingham Forest, with the final offer rising to around £25 million, including add-ons. At the time, the club made their stance clear. Engels was not for sale, but that has not ended the story, not by a long way. Forrest are understood to still be monitoring the situation ahead of a renewed attempt this summer, and now they face serious competition. Lazio have identified Engels as a potential replacement if they sell midfield players this summer, with Italian journalist Lorenzo Laporte reporting that multiple clubs are already alert to the situation and that talks are continuing. On the pitch, Engels has reminded everyone exactly why there is so much interest. After returning from injury, he started at Hampton in Sunday's Scottish Cup semi-final and immediately lifted Celtic's performance level, with the team noticeably dropping when he was substituted. That kind of impact only adds to the noise around him. There are variables that could affect how this plays out. A potential managerial change at Lazio, with Maurizio Sarri's future uncertain at the club, could alter their summer plans entirely. But Celtic know a bidding war could be coming. Turning down £25 million in January was one thing. Doing it again in the summer, when the offers could be even higher and clubs are competing against each other, is a much tougher position to hold. The next few months are going to be fascinating. In other news, there is real uncertainty surrounding the future of Celtic's B team, with conflicting information leaving players inside the squad unsure about what comes next. Reports last week suggested Celtic were planning to withdraw the B-side from the Lowland League entirely. Those reports were quickly dismissed by Lowland League chairperson Thomas Brown, who stated that Celtic B would in fact remain in the Lowland League West next season, still operating at the 5th tier of Scottish football. But according to sources close to the situation reported by the Celtic Way, the picture is far from settled inside the club. Players within the B squad were reportedly surprised by the initial reports and have yet to receive firm confirmation about where they will be playing beyond the coming season. Looking ahead to 2026 to 2027, things become even less clear. There is also a broader trend worth watching here. Rangers withdrew their B team from the Lowland League setup 2 years ago, and Hearts are now set to follow suit this summer. Celtic's B side has never been fully embraced by the Scottish football pyramid since it was formed in 2021, and this season has done little to strengthen the case for their inclusion, with the team finishing mid-table on 46 points with very little at stake at either end. Celtic now face a genuine crossroads decision on whether to stay in a system that has never fully accepted them or find a different development pathway for the next generation of talent coming through Lennoxtown. In other news, former Celtic goalkeeper Joe Hart has shut the door completely on any return to football in a coaching or management capacity, and he has done so in the clearest possible terms. Hart retired in early 2024 after an emotional farewell at Celtic Park, a career-ending appearance marked by one of the most stunning tributes the Green Brigade have ever put together. He remains an incredibly popular figure among the support, and there had been genuine hope in some quarters that he might come back to the club in some coaching role further down the line. Earlier this year, there was even a brief moment of speculation when Hart appeared with Shrewsbury Town during one of their League Two fixtures, sparking talk of a move into coaching, but that was a one-off, nothing more. Hart appeared on the Golf Life podcast and left absolutely no room for misinterpretation. He said, No, I love football and goalkeeping, but I just don't like the professional side of the coaching, what it'll do to you, your family life. I can only be all in. I know that if I was a coach, I'd be 24/7 trying to help, trying to get better. I don't want to make that a part of my life, so I made that very clear. Pressed further on the topic, he doubled down completely. No, definitely. I stand on it, mate. I know what goes into it, and I've just not got that in me. Instead, Hart has settled into a punditry career on TNT Sports, a role that genuinely suits him. He brings real insight to the desk, the kind of perspective you only get from a goalkeeper who has played at the very highest level for a very long time. For Celtic fans hoping he might one day be in the dugout at Celtic Park, though the answer could not be any clearer. Lastly, former Celtic defender Jack Hendry looks set to stay in Saudi Arabia this summer, but the move on the table could be a very significant upgrade on his current situation. Hendry moved to Al Ettifaq back in 2023 alongside former Celtic striker Moussa Dembele and had been expected to leave the club when his contract expires this summer after they indicated they could not meet his financial demands. Most people assumed that meant leaving Saudi Arabia altogether, but that now looks unlikely. Al Hilal are understood to be in talks over a free transfer move for the 30-year-old centre-back. This would be a massive step up. Al Hilal are managed by Simone Inzaghi and have built one of the most star-studded squads in world football, with Karim Benzema, Darwin Núñez, Ruben Neves, and Theo Hernandez all in their ranks. They currently sit second in the Saudi League table. It is also worth noting that Al Hilal sits 6 points ahead of Al Qadsiya, whose manager happens to be Brendan Rodgers, so Hendry could end up playing for a title rival against his former Celtic boss, which is quite the subplot heading into next season. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.